I'm so bored. I know, we should do something. But what? Maybe we could drink some coffee? Why? Oh, you don't like coffee. Well, we could paint a picture. No? Again? Oh, I know. I could read your story and you can listen. Please? Okay, wait. I'll find a good story. Do you want to hear the story about the teddy bear? Okay. There's another story about... Oh, it's called Trombone Shorty. Do you want to hear that one? Okay. Trombone Shorty, written by Troy Andrews and illustrated by Brian Collier. Where you at? Where you at? We have our own way of living down here in New Orleans. Ooh, they live in New Orleans. And our own way of talking too. So that's what we like to say when we want to tell a friend, hello. So, where you at? Lots of children have nicknames, but I want to tell you the story of how I got mine. Just like when you listen to your favorite song, let's start at the beginning. Because this is a story about music. But before you can understand how much music means to me, you have to know how important it is to my hometown, my greatest inspiration. I grew up in a neighborhood in New Orleans called Treme. Any time of day and night, you could hear music floating in the air. Listen. Can you hear the music? Oh, yeah, that's nice. Okay, sorry, I'll get back to the story. And there was music in my house too. My big brother, James, played the trumpet so loud you could hear him halfway across the town. He was the leader of his own band, and my friends and I would pretend that we were in a band too. Follow me, James would say. There's one time in our year that's more exciting than any other. Mardi Gras. Parades fill the street and beaded necklaces are thrown through the air to the crowd. Ooh, I like this one. I love the brass bands with their own trumpets, trombones, saxophones, and the biggest brass instrument of them all, the tuba, which rested over the musician's head like an elephant's trunk. This one's funny. Where you at? Where you at? The musicians would call. All day long, I could see brass bands parade by my house while my neighbors danced along. I loved these parades during Mardi Gras because they made everyone forget about their troubles for a while. People didn't have a lot of money in Treme, but we always had a lot of music. I listened to all these sounds and mixed them together, just like how we do with our food. We take one big pot and throw in sausage, crab, shrimp, chicken, vegetables, rice, whatever's in the kitchen, and stir it all together and let it cook. I can smell that already. We call it a gumbo, and that's what I wanted my music to sound like. Different styles of music combined to create my own musical gumbo. But first, I needed an instrument. The great thing about music is that you don't even need a real instrument to play. You hear that? You don't even need a real instrument to play music. So, my friends and I decided to make our own instruments. We might have sounded different from the real brass bands, but we felt like the greatest musicians in Treme. We were making music, and that was all that mattered. Then one day, I found a broken trombone that looked too beaten up to make music anymore. It didn't sound perfect. But finally, I had a real instrument in my hand, and I was ready to play. The next time the parade went by my house, I grabbed that trombone and headed out to the street. My brother, you remember James? He told us about him. He had a band? Yeah, my brother James noticed me playing along and smiled proudly. Trombone Shorty, he called out, because the instrument was twice my size. Get it? Because he was playing a trombone and he was short. So it's Trombone Shorty. It's so funny. From that day on, everybody called me Trombone Shorty. I took that trombone everywhere I went, and I never, ever stopped playing. I was so small that sometimes I fell right over to the ground because it was so heavy. But I always got back up, and I learned to hold it high. So, did you like the bit? Oh gosh, telling you this story is making my throat all dry. I think it's time. I need to drink some water. I'll drink some water and then I'll tell you the rest of the story. Okay? That felt good. Okay, we'll start. Okay, so this is where we last stopped. I listened to my brother play songs over and over until I taught myself those songs too. I practiced day and night, and sometimes I fell asleep with the trombone in my hands. Oh, sorry. One day, my mom surprised me with tickets to the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, the best and biggest music festival in town. We went to see Bo Diddley, who my mom said was one of the most important musicians of all time. As I watched him on stage, I raised my trombone to my lips and started to play along. He stopped his band in the middle of the song and asked the crowd, "Who's that playing out there?" Who was it? Everyone started pointing, but Bo Diddley couldn't see me because I was the smallest one in the place. My mom held me up in the air and said, "That's Trombone Shorty, my son." "Well, Trombone Shorty, come on up here," said Bo Diddley. Ooh. The crowd passed me overhead until I was standing on the stage next to Bo Diddley himself. I walked right up to the microphone, held my trombone high, ready to blow. "What do you want to play?" Bo Diddley asked. "Follow me," I said. After I played with Bo Diddley, I knew I was ready to have my own band. Look at that! Trombone Shorty is gonna have his actual own band. I got my friends together and we called ourselves the 5 o'clock band. Because that was the time we went out to play each day after we finished our homework, of course. You have to remember that. You always have to finish your homework. Okay? Okay. We played all around New Orleans, everywhere. I practiced and practiced and practiced, and soon my own brother James asked me to join his band. When people wondered who the kid in his band was, he'd proudly say, "That's my little brother, Trombone Shorty. Where you at?" Did you remember that one? It means hello. And now I have my own band called Trombone Shorty and Orleans Avenue, named after a street in Tremé. I've played all around the world, but I always come back to New Orleans. And when I'm home, I make sure to keep my eyes on the younger musicians in town and help them out, just like my brother did for me. Today, I play at the same New Orleans Jazz Festival where I once played with Bo Diddley, just like I used to do in the streets of Tremé with my friends. Where you at? Where you at? I still keep my trombone in my hands, and I will never let it go. The end. So how was it? Did you like it? I liked the part where they made the gumbo too. It was delicious. I mean, I didn't taste it, but I still think it was delicious. Right. So, what do you think about the story? It's nice too. I especially like the morale. You know how Trombone Shorty, he kept practicing and practicing until he was better. If he didn't practice, then he wouldn't be good at all, would he? Yes, he wouldn't. What's that? Yes, that's true. Practice makes perfect. If Trombone Shorty just sat around without practicing and learning songs from his brother, he wouldn't be a famous musician like he is now. Yes, you have to remember that you have to help people out, just like Trombone Shorty's brother helped him. So, what do you want to do now? Speak loudly. Okay, we could go check it out. Wait, you were with me this whole time? You? I was so caught up in my story, I didn't even realize you were there. Well, we are going to go inside and see what's in our kitchen because I can smell a really delicious smell. Yeah, we better go. Well, next time I read the story, I'm not going to be reading it. You have to say it. My throat is arching now. Okay, well, we're going to go to the kitchen and see what's there. See you next time.